It's 11:40 at night, and you've written the message 3 times. You type it, you read it back, you delete it. There's a version of you that used to send things without checking them twice. Somewhere between then and now, you learned to disappear before anyone could leave first. Tonight, that window is closing faster than you think. 4 signs are about to be named directly: Libra, Aries, Cancer, Capricorn. And if you're one of them, tomorrow changes what you do with that unsent message. There may be a consequence sitting in your drafts folder right now that this video is going to resolve, speculatively, but precisely, because of something happening to Venus in Libra tomorrow. Libra, Aries, Cancer, Capricorn. Those are the 4 signs this reading is built around, and we'll go deep on each one. Tomorrow, on August 17, at 07 UTC, Venus reaches an exact contact with the fixed star Vindemiatrix at 10 degrees 00 Libra. This is not a vague planetary mood, it's a measured position, tracked by careful astronomical observation and mapped against the fixed stars that hold their place against the turning sky. The window around this contact opened on August 16 and closes on August 18 to 2 days in total, and we're inside it right now. Vindemiatrix has an old reputation in the sky. Astrologers have long read this fixed star as the widow maker, a point associated with grief, with things ending before their time, with a sweetness that curdles if you hold on to it too long. Paired with Venus, the planet of love, worth, and connection, the traditional reading is specific. In the traditional reading, when Venus touches Vindemiatrix, it's read as a moment when an emotional attachment reaches its natural close, not through disaster, but through a quiet recognition that something has already ended and you're the last one still writing to it. That's the part nobody warns you about. It isn't the breakup itself that stars whisper secrets about, it's the after. The energy flows like water toward whatever we keep feeding it, and for 2 days, Venus is asking each of us where our water has been going. This transit is traditionally read as a closing bell for attachments that have already, quietly, died, and an opening for the ones still breathing. Because Venus sits in Libra, this contact activates the first house for every Libra rising, the house of identity, of how you show up before you say a word. Traditionally, that placement is read as a moment when your own sense of self gets tested by what you're willing to keep chasing. For the other 3 protagonists, the activation lands in different rooms of the chart entirely, and that's exactly why their stories diverge so sharply. Aries feels it in the 7th house, the house of partnership and one-to-one commitment. Cancer feels it in the 4th house, the house of home and the body's own rhythms. Capricorn feels it in the 10th house, the house of career and public standing. 4 signs, 4 completely different rooms of life, one single planetary contact. That's the shape of tomorrow. Now let's go into each one properly, starting with the sign carrying the most tension right now. Libra, this lands on you first because Venus is your own ruling planet, and it's making contact inside your first house, the house of identity, the house of how you walk into a room before you've said a single word. Traditionally, this is read as a moment when the face you show the world and the person you actually are underneath stop matching up so easily. You've been performing a version of fine for a while now. Maybe at work, maybe with a partner, maybe just to your own reflection. Over these 2 days, you might notice a strange fatigue that isn't about sleep. It may feel heavier than usual before it lifts, though the cause could be the effort of holding up an image rather than anything the sky directly creates. That's not a diagnosis, it's just a possibility worth naming. Here's what the transit actually changes. It's not asking you to become someone new. It's read, in the traditional sense, as an invitation to drop one specific mask, the one you use most often, the one that's cost you the most energy. The concrete action inside this window is small and almost embarrassing in its simplicity. Say the true, slightly uncomfortable sentence you've been editing down into something safer, not to everyone. To one person, before August 18. If you don't, here's the cost. Plainly stated, the pattern doesn't punish you dramatically, it just continues. You keep being liked for the edited version, and the real one keeps waiting in the drafts folder of your own life, unsent, indefinitely. Vindemiatrix's older reading is about grief for things left unfinished, and an identity you never fully showed anyone is one of the quietest griefs there is. Timing is written in the sky, but the sentence still has to come from your mouth. Here's the tension nobody resolves up front. Venus in Libra should feel harmonious. It's home turf for that planet. But a contact with Vindemiatrix pulls the other direction, toward endings. Both readings are true at once, and the next sign shows you exactly how that contradiction plays out in real life. Aries, this contact activates your 7th house, the house of partnership, but also, less obviously, the house of your public reputation through others, business partners, collaborators, the people whose names get mentioned next to yours. Traditionally, this is read as a moment when a one-to-one relationship reveals whether it was ever equal to begin with. You may have been the one absorbing more than your share of effort in a working relationship or a partnership, quietly, without naming it. The transit doesn't create that imbalance, it just makes it visible for 2 days, sharply. Venus meeting a fixed star tied to endings, sitting in the house of partnership, is traditionally read as pressure to renegotiate terms rather than just enduring them. The concrete action: before August 18, put one specific ask in writing, a rate, a boundary, a division of labor, to the person you've been quietly resenting, not a confrontation. A clear, calm line drawn on paper or in a message. If you let the window close without doing this, the resentment doesn't announce itself loudly. It might just keep accumulating in small moments, a delayed reply, a flicker of irritation you could notice when their name shows up on your screen, though that pattern may have other causes worth considering. The cosmos guides our paths, but it doesn't renegotiate your contracts for you. That has to be you, in writing, this week. Right now, we're inside the real window. The peak contact happens tomorrow, August 17, at 07 UTC, and the whole thing closes on August 18 to 2 days left. What's still decidable in the time left is smaller than you think, and more specific than you'd guess. Cancer. This one activates your 4th house, home, family, the body's private rhythms, the room nobody else sees you in. Traditionally, Venus touching a fixed star of endings in this house is read as a signal that something in your domestic rhythm has quietly outlived its usefulness. A routine, an arrangement at home, a way of caring for yourself that used to work and now just costs you. Over the next 2 days, you might notice your appetite or your sleep pattern shifting slightly around evenings spent at home, not because the sky reaches into your body directly, but because unresolved domestic tension sometimes surfaces in those rhythms, and it may be worth watching rather than ignoring. The concrete action: pick one household routine, a chore split, a sleep schedule, a habit you've outgrown, and change one concrete detail of it before August 18, not the whole system. One detail. If you leave it as it is, the cost is quiet erosion, not collapse. The same low-grade friction at home keeps repeating week after week, and you keep absorbing it as just how things are instead of naming it as something that could actually shift. Vindemiatrix's oldest reading warns against holding a sweetness that's gone sour, and a home routine you've stopped questioning can be exactly that, sitting quietly in the room where you sleep. Capricorn, this contact lands in your 10th house, career, public standing, the version of you that other people see and hire and promote. Traditionally, Venus meeting Vindemiatrix here is read as a moment when public recognition and private cost come into direct conflict. You may be liked for work that's quietly draining you, or admired for a role you've started to outgrow. The concrete shift is this: something you've been doing for approval, rather than for its own value, becomes harder to keep faking enthusiasm for during this window. Both outcomes are real possibilities, not certainties. The only fact that isn't speculation is the date. This window shuts on August 18, and what you do with the hours before that is still entirely yours to decide. You didn't lose your way. You learned to disappear quietly instead of asking for what you needed. Tomorrow doesn't undo that. It just hands you one clean chance to do it differently. Tell me in the comments which sign you carried tonight. As the moon reflects the sun, may your spirit shine brightly in the universe's embrace.